Good evening, Drew.
Hey, buddy, how we feeling?
Good. I have an echo. Hold on. What's going
You have an
on?
echo.
I have an echo. I have an echo.
Okay.
You know what? As long as you're recording, we're good. I'll deal with it.
I mean, I'm recording.
Okay.
Like,
Perfect.
where is the echo happening?
Oh, I fixed it. Huh.
Hey,
Hey. Hey, how
look
about
at
that?
that.
How about that? Okay. Hey, that works.
Really, really proud of you.
Hey. Sorry. New computer, who dis?
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk about that
We are.
eventually.
We are.
All right, we've got topics tonight, but before we
Mhm.
do anything,
Mhm.
I think it's time we have a serious discussion about our social media presence.
Okay.
So right now,
Mhm.
I think the place that we're posting the most, we were posting on X/Twitter, right?
No longer. Yep.
No longer.
Mhm.
I don't use Mastodon.
Okay.
I don't know when the last time I signed into Mastodon was.
Okay.
I also uninstalled Threads from my computer because it was just constantly serving me thirst traps.
Okay.
And I'm not against that. It
Mhm.
just there wasn't
Mhm.
anything of meaningful content over there.
Okay. That's interesting because I love Threads. That's okay.
I don't. And I hate that like Instagram also tucks Threads in there, even though I don't have Threads installed and there's no way for me to actually view those things. And they know what they're doing because it's just literally like the pictures are cropped in such a way that it's just all boobs and butt
Okay.
whenever it shows up in there. Again, not that that's bad. It's just that that's not like I don't want to deal with Threads. So lately, Blue Sky has gained a lot of traction.
Okay. I find that. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Every time I try Blue Sky, like the algorithm, like I want to follow and get more people, but it's not doing that for me at all. It's not even trying. It's
Well,
so bad. It's so bad.
okay. I don't know when the last time you tried to use it was.
Today.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
So if you're using it in your web browser or you're using it on your
Phone.
what tab are you spending time on? Are
I,
you spending time on following, discover, or popular with
I've
friends?
all three. Popular with friends literally has nothing. It says your feed is empty. I've tried the following. I've tried the following and discover basically show the same thing, just in different orders. I
Mhm.
don't see anything new. I even try adding more categories like news, and that's but the news mostly shows me things in other languages. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get any traction with it because it's like I don't know.
Well,
It's
if you're
yeah.
if you're in the app right now, like it very much mirrors what Twitter used to look like. So left hand side you got a menu, right hand
Mhm.
side you have search. And then you kind of have like the main feed down the middle of the page. There's a little pound sign in the upper right hand side. Have you added any of those things?
No.
Okay. So you should spend some time in there tuning that a little bit
Okay.
and finding different
Oh,
feeds or
this is
different.
this is the exact same thing that show that the button that there's a button on popular with friends saying find accounts to follow, and it goes to the
Mhm.
same thing, and I did that, and I still can't get it to show me
Okay.
anything decent. Yeah.
Well, then I
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
But so like there's been a huge influx of visitors there and like I really wasn't checking it that much, but something has changed over the past week. And I don't know what it is, but I have gained like 100 followers
Hmm.
of people I know, people from other social media platforms following me over there. So I think that with all the election fallout and everything that's happening in this country and everything, I think people are starting to, at least people that I care about, migrate over to this platform. It's starting to kind of coalesce there. So I'm just wondering, should we just adopt this as our place where we post
Yeah, I can get
things?
us an account and post there as well. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still
and
probably
what's
gonna
nice.
post on Threads because like everything, like I don't know, Threads just shows me things that I want to read consistently over and over
Okay.
again. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. The algorithm they have there is good. Though I do still check Mastodon because all the techie people that I want to, like read are still posting there. So,
And
yeah.
that's fine.
Mhm.
That's fine. I mean, different strokes, different folks. It's just that this is where, like, I have uninstalled Twitter from my phone. I have moved this icon to where Twitter was. I'm making a conscious sort of decision to try to promote more here and post more here. I also like that it's pretty easy to get your own handle that matches your domain name. That, I mean, all that stuff is like really kind of cool to me. So I think we should start, as of this podcast when this comes out,
Okay.
posting here
Alright.
as well.
Alright,
And
we
I
can do
think I think there's some kind of way to federate to Mastodon from this question mark.
I have no idea. I know Threads
I
does that.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it'd be great, like, if I could get Threads on this app, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to do that though. I haven't gone that deep into this platform yet to know that.
Yeah. I don't think Blue Sky is built on ActivityPub though,
Oh. well.
which Threads and Mastodon are.
Huh.
Can Blue Sky Activity Pub? I'm not even going to make that a full sentence. I'm just going to type sentence fragments. No.
Okay. Well, we tried. I mean, there's a feed of dog pics. Like, I just subscribed to that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Be the person your dog thinks you are. There's dogs happening here. That's not a dog. That's a cat. What is happening? Oh, that is okay. I didn't expect to see furry dog guy with nipples and pecs on my feed, but here we are.
There you are.
Yep. There's some Shibas there. I don't know. Look, so if you're listening and you're a Blue Sky user, look for doing their best on Blue Sky
Yep.
soon.
Yep.
All right. So last episode, we started, I think, to talk about this.
Yeah.
You know what we haven't done on this program for a while?
Drew's Computer Corner.
Drew's Computer Corner. And you want to know you want to know why?
Why?
My computer's been running really good.
Good. It's just about time to mess with it. Right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay.
But like so part of the reason that I haven't upgraded my computer recently. So the last time I went through a computer upgrade was when AMD launched the more recent versions of their Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. And this was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I currently, in this computer right now, let me get the exact like model information for you. So my computer that I'm recording this on, and like it's my gaming computer, is an AMD Ryzen 9 7950 X3D. And at the time, that was like the highest end Ryzen 9. So you have to understand that AMD has the series, which is the 7000 series. Then they have like the second number in that, which is the 9, which means it's a Ryzen 9 instead of a Ryzen 7 or a Ryzen 5, which are the other two. And then there's like little numbers in there that basically denote different part numbers. So like the Ryzen 9 7950 X3D is a 16 core processor, 32 hyper-threaded cores at 4.2 gigahertz stock clock, and then it boosts like to 5 something gigahertz depending.
Okay.
I have 64 gigs of RAM. I've got plenty of hard drives in here. I have the NVIDIA, GTX 4090. I've had that for the couple of years now, and NVIDIA hasn't put out anything more powerful in that, and AMD has basically given up trying to compete with NVIDIA on the high-end graphics card. I haven't had to add any media cards. I haven't had to add any fancy equipment. This has basically fit my needs for every game that I want to play, for all the video content I want to produce. Like, it has just been rock solid. I haven't had any major hardware failures either, knock on wood. I'm running Windows 11. Like, everything has just been really good. My temperatures are perfectly fine. Like, perfectly fine. This particular processor does get warm, but I have a nice beefy 360 millimeter liquid cooler on here. Everything has been just great. I haven't had any reason to upgrade. Now, the other half of the story is that number one, AMD only up until recently has launched their new family of Ryzen chips, which is now the 9000 series, which I'll talk about in a minute. And Intel continues to shit the bed. So Intel launched a couple. So after AMD launched the first generation of their 9000 series, which is just like the AMD Ryzen 9, Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5, and then it's like 9000 something or other. Intel launched a couple other chips. And the first thing they did is they launched the 1400 series of their processors. And I previously had an Intel 1300 or 13000 series, like 13900K or something like that. And then they launched the 1400K series of processors, and that's the one that had like all the recalls and was like basically cooking itself, and they had like this like instability in all these game engines and everything. So Intel wasn't having a very good time. So then what happened was Intel decided to release their newer processor series, and that's the Arrow Lake and Meteor Lake computer CPUs. So for example, there's the Intel Core Ultra 9, and they have a new naming convention, or new number convention, I should say. So it's Intel Core Ultra 9, and it's now like 275K, 285K. And Intel did a couple things to their processor architecture. So the first thing they did was they got rid of hyperthreading. They don't do hyperthreading anymore.
Okay.
That's been something that's been quietly brewing in CPU architecture for a little while. In fact, like if you're computing in the cloud, you may notice that some of the VMs offer hyperthreading, some of them don't. Intel decided that they wanted to get out of the hyperthreading game. So like, for example, the highest of high-end new version of Intel's chips is the Intel Core Ultra 9, 285K. It's 24 cores. It's got 40 megs of cache. And it's not very good. So Intel, okay. Intel actually, these chips that they launched are performing worse, especially in things like games and like high-end render workloads, than the previous generation 1400. Or 14900K or whatever they were. I don't know the exact number. In the show notes, I basically have like the latest generation of Tom's Hardware CPU sort of performance charts. And if you want a really good chuckle, like if you look at that, the red bars are AMD and the blue bars are Intel. And you'll notice that the previous Core i9, which is the old Intel naming convention of processors, the 14900K,
oh yeah,
it's like in fifth place. And then you have like the Core i7 and the Core i9 of the previous generation. And like you got to go pretty far down that chart, like almost halfway, until you get to the new Intel processors. And yeah, it's not a good look. Now, Intel also decided that they were going to focus on efficiency, because the one thing that I never liked about the newer Intel chips is they ran very hot. Like you needed to really have liquid cooling. Air cooling was just not going to work. And even then, they still ran a little hot. So these newer ones are much more efficient. They run much, much cooler. They run at lower voltages. But because of that, they're not overvolted like and supercharged like those other Intel chips. So they take a pretty considerable performance hit. AMD has not taken their foot off the gas. So they launched the new series of Ryzen 9s. And if you're looking at that Tom's Hardware chart, again, it'll be linked in show notes. You'll see that, literally smack dab in the middle of the chart is the AMD Ryzen 9 9900X. And that was the first Ryzen 9 9000 series that sort of hit the market. And that was AMD's sort of generational shift, and that was sort of the target that Intel wanted to hit. But as of like a week and a half ago, AMD has now launched the X3D version of their processors.
Okay.
And this is where things get
X3D.
So what is X3D? So the AMD X3D architecture is basically their chiplet architecture with extra cache on certain cores, but not all the cores. And I waited for the Ryzen 9 7000 series, the previous generation, to launch the X3D version, because that's what AMD sort of does. They launch the new series, and then 4 to 6 months later, they launched the X3D version, which is like their chiplet design and the extra cache and everything like that. And you can see from those charts on Tom's Hardware, which look, there's CPU benchmarks everywhere. I really like Tom's. I think they do a good objective job of sort of measuring this. You can see that the X3D versions of the newest versions of the Ryzen processor are just really, really good. In fact, the previous generations are really good. Like my processor is in third place on that chart. So it's very good. Like these AMD processors continue to be very good. They continue to iterate. They continue to just get better. But when you look at that chart and you look at the processor I have right now, is it worth me upgrading to the new 9000 series? And I don't think the answer is yes.
Okay.
I don't think the answer is yes right now. Now, the current king of performance here is the Ryzen 7 9000 series. So it's the newest generation, but it's only a Ryzen 7, so it has fewer cores, but it uses those cores much more efficiently and is currently the most sought after processor on the market right now. Like it's basically sold out everywhere. AMD knew that they were going to have a winner here, but I don't think they anticipated how much. So there's like scalpers everywhere that are selling this thing. So even if I were to talk myself into this, I don't think I could get my hands on it like with any reasonable time. In fact, I'm looking at Micro Center right now, and yeah, they don't have any in stock. So
okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty
popular.
Much sold out everywhere. They're extremely, extremely popular. So now there's one other kind of factor to this, and that is obviously when you upgrade your CPU, a lot of times you have to upgrade your motherboard. And again, I feel like AMD gets this more than Intel, because like every time Intel launches a new processor family, with the exception of going from the 1300K to the 1400K or 14,000K or whatever, this new generation of Intel chips requires a new socket, new motherboard, new chipset, you name it. These new versions of these AMD chips are still socket AM5. You can, I could literally go to Micro Center and just buy a processor right now and upgrade my computer, which is compelling. I don't need to buy new memory. Okay. I don't need to buy a new motherboard. Now, is there faster memory on the market than there was when I built this? Sure. Could my motherboard take advantage of that? Probably. But there's not a major generational uplift in chipset technology or anything else that I would have to upgrade other than the processor itself. Now, granted, that's still a $400 or $500 investment, but I'm not necessarily chomping at that, because even when I look at games that are going to be coming out over the next few weeks, again, there's really nothing driving me to have this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know me, I mean, I love a good reason to upgrade my computer. But for me, it's just not there right now. Maybe after Christmas, after demand settles down and maybe the parts are a little more available, maybe we'll do that. But I don't really see a compelling reason to do this right now. The other thing, to sort of sum this all up, what I would say is like, look, as we get into holiday season and you're thinking about upgrading your computer, you're thinking about buying a new computer, there's a couple things that I will definitely tell you that you should think about. The first thing is, do not buy anything Intel right now. I'm not a hater. I've built Intel computers before. I had many, many years of very good, very stable success with Intel. They're just not doing that well right now. Like I think that their designs aren't super great. They're clearly not the best performers, even for mixed workloads, not just gaming.
Yeah, they can't even make their own chips.
Yeah, like and like, look, I'm not even gonna go into like all the drama of like the foundry stuff, and apparently like the CEO of Intel or the president of Intel pissed off TSMC, and Intel used to be getting like a 40% discount on wafers, and like they got rid of that because he insulted him or something, or it was like some kind of slight. I don't know the whole story. You can Google it. It was just something I heard on my favorite tech YouTube channel, which is Gamers Nexus. Even though, like, don't let the name fool you, they talk about things other than gaming, but they have a very, very, really good, rigorous testing methodology for evaluating all this stuff, and they're arriving at the same conclusions as the Tom's Hardware chart, basically. But I love Steve, aka Tech Jesus. He's really fun to watch. Really, really good YouTube channel. That's the number one thing you should take away from this, is that if you're thinking about buying a Windows-based computer, which that's a choice, I mean, we're obviously big Mac fans here, and I use
Mhm.
my Mac for work every day, and then I use my Mac for like personal stuff at home. If you're thinking about buying a Windows-based computer, do not buy Intel, buy AMD. I don't care if it's a laptop. I don't care if it's a desktop. I don't care if you're thinking about building it. Stay away from Intel. That's number one. The other thing is that if you are in the market to upgrade and you're buying one of these higher end AMD X3D cores, in the show notes, there will be a link to basically the required setup steps to get the most out of your X3D chip. Because these X3D chips are a little bit funky. And again, for those of you that have ever worked in enterprise IT and have had to deal with things like NUMA, this isn't quite NUMA, but there are technologies in Windows that you have to make sure that you install the right drivers for this chip and that everything is set up correctly so that it can take advantage of technologies like core parking, which basically says I always want these applications to run on the chips that have access to the extra cache versus the ones that don't. So there's a lot to consider when you're setting this up. If you're just buying a computer off the shelf, it's probably already done for you. If you're thinking about upgrading, you're thinking about doing this, make sure you do your research, make sure you understand the setup procedures required to do this so that you can do it successfully. But yeah, we haven't done a deep dive in Drew's computer corner for a while just because there really hasn't been a need to. But yeah, that's where things are at. What about you guys? You built a gaming computer not long ago.
I mean, well, I mean, I have the one I have the one that Zachary has. That's your leftover parts. The Intel processor I bought from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I tried to build for myself, I tore apart and is back in my basement. So, because it was gross. So,
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was the stuff that Zach wasn't. It was stuff from Zach's first gaming computer. I also don't have like a room for another monitor, and my 6K beloved 6K monitor is not good for gaming because it's too many Ks and not enough refreshes.
Yeah, too many Ks.
Too many Ks. So yeah, I've got my ROG LAX, I've got my PlayStation, and I'm good. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of computers, though,
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear about your new Mac.
Oh, it's funny because you have that, that chart of all these really, really fast CPUs. But it's missing two, the fastest and second fastest processor in the world.
Yes.
The M4 Max and the M4 Pro, and I'm rocking the M4 Pro, and I cannot. So yeah, I got a MacBook Pro, M4 Pro. It's got, I don't know, 4 efficiency cores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 performance cores, I think. Yeah. 40 some gigs of RAM. Drew, this computer is unbelievably fast.
Okay, so let's talk about that because you went from an M2 to the M4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me where you're noticing the most speed uplift.
Everything.
Really?
Literally everything. Launching apps, scrolling. I do audio processing. I did the last episode on the new computer. It did it in about half the time. That's a good mix of like multi-core and single core performance. I'm playing around with some, iOS development. Build times are just like, they're so fast. It's almost like running unit tests on my stuff right now. Is like, did it actually do anything? Or is it like, did it actually build it and run it? Or am I just making things up? Like launching the simulator is even a fresh one, like a brand new simulator with like no data on it is so much faster than my previous one. Booting is faster. It is the M2 was great. It is incomprehensible how much faster this chip is. It is unbelievable.
That's really, really good to hear.
Yeah.
It's really, really good to hear.
It's good. It's like right away. Okay. And I did, this is the first time I've done this. I did a Thunder. I basically, I didn't want to do a whole lot of like setup. So I'm like, I'm just going to take my Mac from my old M2 MacBook Air, and I'm just going to use Migration Assistant to move things over to the new one. First of all, that worked perfectly, except for apparently Audio Hijack didn't remember my volume settings on that one thing, and I had an echo. And I used a Thunderbolt cable between them, and it copied like everything over in like 35 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. It was, I have about a terabyte of data on there. It was really easy because, like, you know, I plugged it in and it's like, okay, first we're gonna like you can go in and see like it does tests on speeds of all the different options. It's like, oh, I tested Wi-Fi and I got this. I tested your, you know, Ethernet and I got this. And I tested Thunderbolt and it was like 30 times that. So that's what I'm using. Yeah, it worked extremely well. So if you have a Thunderbolt cable lying around and you're moving, heck, I would buy a Thunderbolt cable just for this. If you bought a new Mac, it was incredible how fast it was and how good Migration Assistant was, and just moved everything over. And I was just like using my old Mac, only faster. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's real good. I like it.
Okay. Okay. Now,
any questions, comments, concerns?
I do.
Okay.
I do have questions, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I am extremely close to buying a Mac Mini.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not even talking about customizing it. Like, it's literally going to be a secondary work desktop computer for me. I'm extremely close to buying one.
Okay.
So I think the question that I'm most interested in hearing about is have you done anything with Apple Intelligence on it?
I mean, I have Apple. I have, whatever is built in. I think it does notification summaries. Those are fine. There's really not a whole lot of like big, like CPU churning features in the current version of Apple Intelligence. At least not that I can think of. Yeah, I mean, it's there. It's there. Yeah, I don't use Siri on my Mac, so I mean, I could. I mean, I haven't been brave enough to install the beta on my Mac. I do have it on I am running the beta on my phone. But yeah.
So in the after show, which is just me and you talking, it's not an official thing that some people can subscribe to.
Yep.
You hinted at the fact that you were doing some personal development.
I am. Yes.
So it sounds like this thing's really helping you in that regard. And,
it is.
And,
yes.
and that was what you that was your stated purpose for buying this, and that's great. You need this for your work. Have you got the fans to kick on yet?
If I have, I haven't heard them.
Okay.
Let me check right now. Let me see. I can go to sensors. No, the fans aren't. Oh, okay. The fans are running right now.
Oh.
At about 2,000 RPM. I'm lifting a ear cup of my headphones. No, I cannot hear them. They are silent. Utterly silent. Yep. And also just to point, like, so I run iStat Menu. It's a great application because I'm a nerd. I like numbers. It gives you statistics for everything. It used to be that, like, when I was recording, running Audio Hijack, like the software for my interface, Arc, like my processor would be running at about like 50-70% recording a podcast. It's just what it was. This one is like 8%. It's like yawn, and it's like all on, like, all the processing that's happening is on the efficiency cores. My performance cores are basically doing shit right now. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
I've even like wrote some code while it was sitting on my lap, and it didn't even get warm. Like,
interesting.
It's just I don't know what they did, but it doesn't get hot. You can't hear the fans, and it goes real fast. Yeah. Yeah,
I guess I don't really do anything on my Mac that taxes it. I really truly don't. Like, I'm not a big developer boy like you are. I think the most I've ever taxed it is occasionally I was using like some video editing stuff on it or something like that to like stitch together some stuff I recorded for work. But I mean, I think mine's an M2. I think mine's it's an M1 or an M2. I don't know. I gotta go check. It's upstairs right now.
Okay.
But it's been great. It's been totally great for me. Other than it being super fast and everything, and you obviously, we talked about like your build and all the different options you did for it and everything. It hasn't left you wanting or lacking in any sort of regard.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, like the max, I think you can get like what you can get does it even have more cores? I don't think the mini only comes with the Pro, right? The base or the Pro. You can't put a max in it. Oh, come on. The Apple website is being really angry with me. If I go to the max. Okay, so it's a 14 core. Okay, that's what I have. Yeah, it's a CPU is the same on the max. It just has more GPU cores and you can go higher with the memory. I don't need the GPU cores. I mean I've got apparently I have 20 of them. I don't know what that means. I mean, yeah, so like I said, I went from the 24 to the 48 gigs of RAM. I probably could have stuck with the 24 and been fine. But I don't know. I just like, yeah, I want it. I want it all. Give it to me. No, there is nothing I regret of how I spec my computer. Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah. And dude, I keep like reading and listening to reviews about the Mac Mini, and people just love that thing. Like,
I do want one. I want one real bad. I just haven't been able to justify buying it yet. I just haven't.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll find some place that has it on sale for like Black Friday or something. But yeah,
I mean, Micro Center, even like Micro Center, who usually does like a little bit of a discount on Apple stuff, like I don't even think they're offering that much off it there. But yeah, I mean, Black Friday's coming up. You're right. I mean, it may be one of those things where I can snag one on the cheap. But yeah, right now, my secondary computer on here is my Raspberry Pi 4, and it's fine because I normally am just tooling around in Bash on it, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I would love to have that as like on my second monitor all the time. Is just have stuff running over there. Yeah, that'd be so great.
Yeah, dude. In the base model, now that everything's 16 gigs, man. I mean, the only thing that's really compromised there is the storage. But if you know what you're using it for, like
I'm not using it for storing pictures and videos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're not doing that, then yeah, you can probably just get away. And if you do need something, you can plug in an external SSD. It's Thunderbolt. It's fine. Yeah, it's good. I mean, if I had a use for one, I would buy one as well. But I just bought a Mac, so I'm gonna be good for a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send someone to college soon. So yeah.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Oh shit. He got into Ohio University.
Okay, congrats.
And into the pre-nursing program.
Oh, he was worried about that, right?
Apparently nobody gets into the nursing program directly. They have to be in the pre-nursing program, work, and then apply to get into the nursing program.
Got it.
But he'll be fine. And then yesterday he has a friend who goes there. Yesterday he didn't have school. So he went down in the morning and spent the day with her at Ohio University and kind of got like a student's perspective on the campus. And then we have some friends in the band whose oldest daughter is in the OU marching band, and they had a football game last night. So Jennifer rode down with them, and then they all went to the football game. So he got to experience what the band was like and that kind of atmosphere. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be a Bobcat. So yeah.
Well, that's great.
I expect a housing deposit in my near future.
Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty good for you though, right? Because that's probably closer than Cincy.
Yeah, it's an hour and 20 minutes, so probably about the same, but like
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, but like he also has people that have gone to university in Cincinnati. I guess one of them has been mugged and the other one saw somebody get shot.
Oh, yeah, well, that'll change it.
Because it's not in a great area. Uh like the campus is fine, but like don't leave campus. Where
That's kind of how Pitt was.
Yeah.
Pitt police would patrol like the main streets and the main buildings, but like if you went, there was basically this one road that separated basically Pitt's campus from the Hill District in Pittsburgh, which is like the most dangerous part of the city.
Yeah.
And you just didn't cross that street. You just knew not to cross that street.
Yeah, but like Athens is beautiful, right? Like it's a college town.
Oh, it's very pretty.
So,
very pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where he's going to go. So
I can't remember the last time we talked about this, but like, is he going to be a band person or wants to be a band person in college?
He wants to join the OU marching band. So
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My college roommate, God, my college roommate was a guy that I went to high school with. We were aware of each other and we were friendly. I wouldn't say we were super great friends. I haven't spoken to him since college. But he was in drumline, and that was like his whole identity in high school. He was in drumline. He played snare, like, you know, thought he was really good. Got to Pitt, and they made him carry the cymbals around. Yeah, which I'm not a band person, but I don't think that means that you're good at drums.
It's as far as like marching percussion, it is typically the not granted. If you watch the cymbal player in the drum line, they do some crazy ass shit with those cymbals, right?
Yeah.
It's mostly visuals and less sound, but yeah, that's typically it's like snare, tenor, bass, cymbals.
And he practiced a little hard out. Like he had his drum pad in the room, you know, and I would like be on my computer with the headphones on trying to get work done, and he'd be slamming that thing over there. I mean, it looks hard. I'm not gonna discredit that, but it was a little bit of a wake up call for him. So, all right, let's talk about media.
Yeah.
To kind of round this out.
Yeah.
So,
I just have a quick bit of follow up. In a couple episodes back, I recommended The Penguin on Max, HBO, whatever you want to call it. It's a Batman show without Batman, which I'm always kind of skeptical of. Well, the season finished, and I can tell you they stuck the landing. It ended with just an absolute crescendo. It is there are no heroes in this story. You may find yourself empathizing with certain characters as the show progresses. The show will take that and kick it right in the crotch by the end. You will hate everybody, and I think that's kind of the point, because these are all horrible people trying to gain power in Gotham City, but it ended just absolutely spectacularly. Colin Farrell did an amazing job as the titular the Penguin. So if you're on the fence, I would highly recommend. Just random thing also, if you have Max, it's Florida, man. There's like 5 episodes out. It's kind of like this comedy show where they find every episode is they find like a weird like Florida man story from Florida, and it's half interviews with the people involved and half comedians doing dramatic interpretations of what happened. I got this feeling. It's Florida, man.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's really good.
I have not heard of that.
It's really good. Just if you're kind of curious about the kind of tone, the first episode is about this gentleman who needed money, so he went onto Craigslist and said, "Hey, I need money. I'll do anything within reason." And he was contacted by somebody who wanted him to cut off some of his toes, cook them and eat them.
Really?
Yes. And then he's like, okay.
How much money are we talking
like
here?
$5,000, I think, or something.
Oh, no fucking way, buddy.
Yeah.
You gotta eat feet.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. cut off someone else's toes, cook them and eat them. Yeah, yeah.
Cook them and eat them, not your own toes.
Not your own toes.
You know where those have been.
Somebody else's. But yeah, and it's just every one episode is about mermaid witches. It's good. It's funny. It's good. Every episode's about 25 minutes. They go down real quick. It's just absolutely yeah.
Title.
Yeah. Oh. But in bigger news, Drew.
Okay.
I finished season 4 of The Wire.
All right. So let's go ahead and sound the spoiler horn.
Hey nerds, there's gonna be spoilers.
What do you think?
Out of the 4 seasons I have watched, it is my least favorite by a lot.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, tell me why.
I just like, this is gonna sound stupid because this is every TV show, but like, to me, this season didn't feel like there was an overarching plot. It was just a bunch of little things that happened.
Okay.
Right. And they didn't really like get into the like the investigative like part of things until like the last 3 episodes. I mean, it was fine. It was still enjoyable, but like compared to 1, 2, and 3, it is by far like my least favorite.
You
If
didn't.
If this was the first season, I don't think I would have continued watching.
Okay, so let's talk about it though, because I don't know if I agree with that, because if you look at the main characters, I think in season 4 are the kids.
Yes.
In the schools,
Yeah,
right? And you sort of see this group of kids mature from when school, like before school starts in the summer to the school year going. You didn't connect with like Randy and what happened to him.
It was a heartbreaking storyline, and how like, you know, like one kid had it really bad and one kid kind of ended up having it good. But that wasn't what I enjoyed about the first 3 seasons of The Wire. It was about the police work and the investigation and the police versus the street. And they were like, well, we're just going to have them in the show enough to remind you that they're there. That's what the show's about. But it's really about these kids, and I just didn't. I mean, it was fine. It didn't connect with me as the way the other seasons did.
Okay, but there are a couple undercurrents that are brewing. So to kind of prime you for season 5, what happened to Officer Herc in season 4?
Well, he done fucked up, and he's no longer sergeant, right? He got raked over the coals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I think at the end of season 4, he's in front of a hearing board. Correct?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind for when season 5 starts. The other thing is, what happens to Bubbles?
Bubbles accidentally kills his friend and
His protege, huh?
tries to turn himself in, tries to kill himself, and he finds himself. I'm guessing it's like state mandated rehab, but
it's like a mental. I think it's a mental institution.
It's a mental health. Yeah. But he's getting clean, which I think is the important part. So.
Right, he's trying. He's trying. And you talk about a guy who just can't catch a break. Like that guy starts beating him up, and then of course Herc lets him down too.
You know what? I would just watch a show that's just like following Omar around.
Okay, so talk about Omar. What happened to Omar?
Yeah, he kind of upped up his game a little bit and like ended up like double crossing Prop Joe. Stealing his heroin, and then sold the heroin he stole from Prop Joe back to Prop Joe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did the season end with Omar doing?
Oh, what?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. He pulls off the heist, right? He pulls off the heist. And then what happens?
I'm missing something. What am I missing?
Well, he leaves.
Oh, does he? I didn't think he actually left, but I guess maybe he did. Okay.
Yeah. So they in season 4 was also important because, you know, after Omar robs the card game where Marlo's at, right? Marlo takes like pretty big offense to that, and they frame Omar for a murder,
Yeah.
and he goes to jail, and he tries to cash in a favor with Bunk, right?
Yep.
And Bunk's out there trying, and like this is like
Bunk caught him out. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what?
Bunk was
Marlo. I think if there was a mistake in casting, it was Marlo. I didn't think he had good performances at all. Every scene he was in, I felt like it was very obvious that, at least to me, I mean, he did not feel like a good actor. I don't know. That was me. Also, that I didn't care about that storyline at all because I'm like, oh, Marlo's on. This is going to be awful. Now his cronies, Chris and Snoop, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good. And then what are they up to? What were they up to in season 4?
Yeah, they were putting bodies in vacants, and that didn't come out until like the last couple episodes, really. Yeah.
And what's interesting is now they're discovering just the murder rates down because they're not finding bodies because they weren't looking in the right place for them.
Yeah,
they could make bodies disappear. That's going to be really important to know going forward. What's McNulty up to?
He's back on the major crime. Though the major crimes unit is back is back, and they're getting the old gang,
the band back
together. So I'm looking. I mean, hopefully, if they would have done that at the beginning of the fucking season or halfway through, I think it would have been more invested. But I'm excited that they're all back together. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, I've talked about this before, right? Like, I think season 3 and 4 of the show are the best, and I constantly flip the order of 3 and 4. But it sounds like you're very much a season 3.
Oh, dude, it's 4 isn't even to me. It isn't even not even the same breath. It was by far my least favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
I probably like 2 and 3 both were good, but I think I'm going to give it to 3 as my favorite so far. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to see it out because everything that sort of happens in 4 outside of like all the school stuff. And it was pretty good to see Prez make a comeback, right?
Yeah, but also like I don't know. The kids a few of the kid actors stole every scene that they were in. Like yeah.
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy and Duke, I think, were really good.
Yeah.
And then
is it Nathan? Nay,
yeah. Yeah, which is Weebei's son.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah.
And then there was one other major character in season 4, by the way.
What am I? Well,
it was
Carcetti?
It was somebody in season 3. Well, Carcetti, we'll get to him in a minute.
Okay.
There's one other major character in season 4 who shows up and helps these kids.
Oh, what's his face? The boxer.
Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, Bunny.
Well,
Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets involved with that program to basically single out these kids and try to approach them in a different way than the schools aren't doing. And again, just like his Hamsterdam experiment, it starts to work. But what happens?
Well, it all kind of starts when the mayor's office realizes that the schools are running at a huge shortfall, and then everything starts getting scrutinized. And basically the government's like, you're not helping these kids pass tests. Fuck you.
Right. Yep. And listen, you're married to a teacher. I'm married to a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that stuff hits a little close to home.
Yeah. I mean, you look at that and like, they're never going to let this continue.
Yeah.
Dude, there was one little touch that I loved right at the end of season 13. So, what's the boxer's name? Cuddy. So he gets shot and ends up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse who's treating him is made all kinds of assumptions about this man's life based off his past medical record. And then like Bubbles, like, no, not Bubbles, Bunny kind of sets her straight kind of in passing as he's walking out of the hospital. And then at the last scene, she's like leaning, like with him at the gym, like leaning on him.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and Carcetti obviously becomes mayor.
Yep.
He's like making waves, and then boom, he gets hit with the school thing. And he's already got people who are disagreeing with him and jockeying for position. And there's the political undertone. So all that is to say is, if you didn't like the plot of the schools in season 4, okay, I get it. That was obviously the major theme of the season. But all these other things that I'm mentioning to you, all of this comes back in season 5. So I will say that, again, I think it's really difficult for shows that are very good to stick the landing.
Okay.
Right. And this goes back to what you were talking about with the Penguin.
Yeah.
I don't like the plot of season 5. That's me.
Okay.
You may be different. I also, the first time I watched it, was super disappointed in the ending, but subsequent watches of this season 5 have changed my opinion on it. I think they do find a way to wrap things up. So season 5 is not as long as the other seasons either. I think it's only 9 episodes.
10. I'm looking right now.
10.
Yep.
Yeah. Versus like 13 or 14 as some of the other seasons. So you should definitely see it through.
Oh, I will. 100%. Yeah.
All this stuff comes to a head in season 5. Yeah, I'm glad that you're getting through it. I'm a little shocked to hear that you thought that was the weakest season.
To hear you think it was your most favorite, like, okay, the last 2 episodes were great, but like, the rest of it was just like, you could probably tell because it took me a very long time to get through this season.
I was wondering.
I did not resonate with, like, I guess 11 out of the 13 episodes. Like, there were good moments. It just wasn't, like, the fact that they really I mean, I guess they wanted to do something different, but like, I don't know, the fact that the Major Crimes Unit disbanded and they didn't get back together until like the last 2 episodes of the it just, I don't know, it didn't work for me. It was like, the whole point is these police against these criminals, and that just kind of disappeared. And like, in I think the kid storyline would have been good in any other show, but it wasn't what I wanted out of The Wire. Wasn't what I expected with the first 3 seasons, and it just didn't do. And Marlo was so bad. Oh my God.
You're right. He definitely has an interesting mannerism, a way of speaking.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't think he's a good actor.
So here's the interesting thing, right? I want you to look up the actor that plays Snoop in The Wire.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Well, okay.
So
yep,
the actress that plays Snoop is Felicia Pearson. I want you to read the first part of that.
Okay, Felicia Pearson. Okay, she was born in her. No, that can't be what you want me to read. 18.
Are you on Wikipedia?
No, I'm on IMDb. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I can change this. Wikipedia. Here we go. Okay, she's an American actress, rapper, and author. She played a fictionalized version of herself, nicknamed Snoop, in The Wire. Okay. Grace after midnight, dealing her troubled childhood and time in prison for second-degree murder. Yeah. Okay.
So The Wire has a few actors, including, I think, the guy who plays Omar, who are like legit people that were street people, and I think the guy that plays what's his face? Marlo is the same deal. Okay. I got to double check though. So I think that's probably where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah. It's kind of like The Sopranos pulling in actual ex-mobsters to give the show a little bit of authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah. By Jamie Hector. Yeah. No, he's he's not.
Oh, yeah. She actually got on the show through the actor who played Omar.
They met in a club.
Yeah.
So the guy that plays Marlo, though, I think is like a trained actor, but that's just like the affectation that he adopted for the show.
Yeah,
but it's very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep at it.
Will.
You'll get through it.
I will.
I'll be really happy to sort of talk you through the series when you get to the end.
Yeah.
In the 5 minutes we have left, you know what it's time for?
What is it time for?
It's time to talk about Christmas stuff.
Christmas. Yes, it is that time of year. Yes.
All right. So what do we want to do this year?
I don't know.
We should go to dinner.
I like it.
We should go to dinner. Okay. And not like corn dog shit like we did before.
Nice.
We should go get a nice meal.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yes.
And we'll take pictures.
Yes. Dress up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so start thinking about where we can
Mandate.
go, and we'll yeah, mandate. Yeah, we're gonna go on a mandate, a mandated mandate. Start thinking about that.
Okay.
Oh, we could go to your gas station pizza place.
Let's
We'll put on suits.
Let's not.
Okay, all right.
Let's go to some place actually. If they serve, I don't think we should go to any place that serves pizza.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I think classier places call it flatbread.
Yeah, if it's flatbread, that's fine, but not pizza.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
all right.
You got it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
All right. So let's think about
Okay.
that, and then we'll go
Okay.
and we'll buy each other's.
I
dinner.
like it.
Okay. That's what we're gonna do
Okay,
this year.
I like it.
But while we're here, have you started thinking about what sort of gifts you're going to be giving this year?
I have no idea what I'm getting anybody at all for anything. As my
Yeah,
kids, as my kids get older, it gets more difficult. And and also my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, Mandy's asking me like what I want, and I don't. Buddy, like I feel like I'm at a place in my life right now where if I really want something, I'll just go get it.
Yeah, I think if someone, no one's asked me what I want for Christmas yet, which is fine because I really don't care. But I think if I was going to ask for anything, I would ask for the Lego NASA Artemis Space Launch System set.
Oh, you son of a bitch! All right, hold on, Lego.
I got a link right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, where would I put?
Yeah, I don't know
this
where
son
I
of a
put it
bitch?
either, but look at it.
God damn.
It's got the yeah.
I expected it to be a lot more than that, honestly, in price.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's just like hollow in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, no. I mean, they have woman to scale in the pictures. It's not that bad.
3,601 pieces. Yeah. I would expect it to be more too. It's only $260, which seems like a steal for a Lego set this big. But yeah.
Yeah, the Lego Icon series, man, they've got some absolute bangers right now. Oh, the Endurance. I haven't seen that before. I like the Endurance. I gotta be real with you, man. I would love to build that Titanic.
Yeah.
I would love to build that Titanic. But again, that would basically, you've been in my house. Like the only place that fits in my house is like on that thing under my TV.
Yeah. Right.
It would be the centerpiece of the living room. Like if I did that, like that thing is monstrous. But god damn, that looks cool.
Yeah. I like the look of that sucker.
How do you feel about the Lord of the Rings stuff? That's not me.
I mean, the book was,
I'm not ready to build anything.
Exactly.
Lego.
Like I don't like it enough to I don't rewatch the movies. I don't reread the book. I don't need Lord of the Rings stuff. It's fine.
I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm just not there. I mean, I feel the same way about like Star Wars and stuff. Like I've even kind of stopped watching all the shows.
I'm done with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm burnt out. It's like done this whole weird 360 or 180. I don't know what the right radians are here, of like it was so cool when we were kids, and there were a small group of people that really liked it, and then we all had kids and we all forced it on them, and then they liked it, and then Disney decided to buy it and make a whole bunch of shows and try to make money, and then the new movies weren't very good, and I just have Star Wars exhaustion.
Yeah.
Okay. So you heard it here first. Paul wants Lego, and we're gonna go to dinner somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out.
Yeah. We're on the internet doing theirbest.com. In the episode, I've already made a Blue Sky account for the show, so you can find the link.
Oh, you did. I have a notification.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's not free.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Followed by Paul Baylor. Am I following you? I am following.
Yeah. I haven't posted anything on there, but I guess now I'll have to. So you can find the link on the website, all the show notes, and thanks for listening.